Okay, we got Inferno here with his Tachi deck profile. Do you want to show us the Ancient Dragon build you got there?
Yep, for the starter, Ancient Dragon Baby Rex. Well, again, Forerunner, Rider Grey 1 on top of it, call it any rearguard circle. Whenever this guy dies, counterblast 1, superior call, a grade 3 from the deck. Well, this guy, but we'll move on to him later.
So why not run that instead of why run that basically instead of the Dragon Egg?
The Dragon Egg is good for defensiveness, and you can reuse him, because he goes back to your hand, you can recall him. 10k shield, pretty solid, but because Ancient Dragons seem to be more of an aggressive archetype, you want to run this so you get extra attacks in.
Fair enough.
And plus you can help fix columns late game. So. Okay, onto the triggers. We run 4 of the Ancient Dragon crits.
Okay.
3 of these ones.
Oh, it's also a damage and flipper, the Dragon one.
Yeah, it's damage and flipper when you need him. I haven't found myself using them too much other than a shield and the trigger effect when I can. But I'm bad at this game, so I don't get triggers.
Oh.
Okay, the last quick trigger is the Black Cannon Tiger, rounding up 7 criticals.
So would you run more Black Cannons if you
No, wait, hold on. That's 8 criticals. I can't count. So that's
I would say like Tachi can play quite a long game, so like the idea to keep like restocking your deck seems quite interesting.
Right, yeah, because well the problem with him is he's only a 4k booster, and he has to hit to be recycled. Unlike Lozenge Magus, which just is 6k booster, and it will automatically go into the deck at the end of battle, guarded or
But
not.
that is non-optional, whereas you can keep that around and keep applying pressure.
You can.
So those are the benefits. And
the problem is it's only 4k, so you can't apply too much pressure. Especially not now. People have got very high defense vanguards.
Maybe with an 11k column.
Yeah. Next time.
Not total, of course.
4 draw trigger. Always pretty good for replenish the hand. You can run 12 crit if you really want to, but I find draws are quite handy.
Plus you do run break right, so you always want to get that extra
Yeah, you want more draw power. And of course, 4 heal.
Because you're bad at this game.
Yeah, because I really need these. I rely on these a lot.
Yeah, I mean only scrubs play heals.
It's terrible.
Do you want to give them the gas, or do you want to give them the water?
On to grade 1. We have 3 Scout Terror. Another part of your stuff that wants to die pile. Because along with this, he will always be on the field because you ride a grade 1, he will be there.
Tachi's gambit is that they can afford to lose
They can
some
afford
cards.
to lose their cards, but this guy, when he dies, counterblast 1 back to hand. So 6k booster, when he dies, 5k shield, if you want to think of it.
And we've got the improved Skype Terror as well.
Yeah, we do, which we're moving on to in a bit. We've got 3 of the Ancient Dragon 10k grade 1s. When you've got an Ancient Dragon Vanguard, he becomes a 10k attacker in the front row.
Okay.
Always pretty useful when you run out of grade 2 attackers. Good for applying a bit of pressure, means they've got to guard more from the hand. And good for early game rush, obviously. Next, I have 3 Archbird, because I don't have the other one. Well, I do. I have 1. Because
But you still got 4 null guards.
I still got 4 nil guards, 3 Archbird because they were cheaper. Just gonna be honest, they were cheaper. This guy I only got 1 copy of.
So if you are looking for a budget build, it's not a bad option.
Budget build, because there's not actually very many special counterblasts in Tachikaze. I mean,
Special counterblast being requiring the archetype to be in the damage zone.
yeah, special counterblast, you don't have to counterblast an Ancient Dragon unit. So if you do find these in the damage zone, which you should be very sad about, first of all, but
I would like to place on record here that I did offer 2 trades
it's not the end of the world.
of thing for thing, and you turned me down.
Yeah, you've been too nice. And Skype Terror's Ancient Dragon cousin. Right, okay, when this guy dies, counterblast 1.
It's an iguana.
Call him back to the field. Doesn't have to be in the rest position, so you call him back in attacking position. 7k booster otherwise.
It's quite nice, you can reformulate your field.
You can reform your field as well. Right, on to grade 2s. What we got? 4 Ancient Dragon 10k vanillas, because yeah, you can run Mega Rex if you want to, but with
It's not a bad defensive ride.
it's not a bad
either,
defensive
to be fair.
ride.
And Tachi can avoid getting early rush game, which
Yeah,
can
you
kind of hurt them.
But yeah, 4 10k vanilla, good Vanguard, good Rearguard. Always pretty decent. Okay, and 4 12k Ancient Dragon Swingers when you have an Ancient Dragon Vanguard, which you will have the majority of the time. In fact, not all the time, unless you ride Scout Terror somehow.
Which you probably don't want to do.
And somehow get grade 2 on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. These are pretty much always 10, 12k on your turn. So, yep, good attackers for 11k Vanguards.
Ace.
Last grade 2, we got 3 Dino Crowd. he's part of your killing engine of the deck. You've got stuff that wants to die, such as this, and you've got stuff that kills stuff, which is this. So he kills an Ancient Dragon Rearguard, so it has to be an Ancient Dragon. So you've got your two choices are this or Iguana Gorg. You can't use Skyptera, but
Because it's not an Ancient Dragon.
yeah, because it's not an Ancient Dragon, but these two are pretty good options as well. Because if you, say, attack with this kind of column first, tap 14. 14 with the Vanguard again by killing this, counterblast 1, and get a third column in. So it's an aggressive
Some
play.
extra attacks, yeah.
Some extra aggressive attacks. Always nice and useful, these killing engines.
Okay, I would like to say here, why do you run Skype Terror if pretty much all your kill cards are for Ancient Dragon?
I'm gonna move on to that. If
Just
you
extra
let me.
kill cards.
Extra kill cards.
Yeah.
For the break ride, right? Okay. You break ride a grade 3 on top of this, kill 2 Tachikaze units, so you can use Skyptera in this, and they go back to your hand. So effectively, if you break ride on top of him, card blast 2, draw 2
So
cards.
at this point, would you say probably try and keep Scout Terrors in your hand as opposed to playing them?
Try and keep Skyptera on the field until you break ride him, and then when you break ride it and put these 2 back in your hand, say, then you play Ancient Dragon units down. Just keep these as 5k cards.
Because Tyrannal Legend needs to retire Ancient Dragons as well.
Tyrannal Legend does need to retire Ancient Dragons, so once you break ride, keep these in your hand as 5k shields, and then hopefully you'll get some good off 2 draws. Last grade 3, we got 4 Tyrannal Legend.
Big boss of the deck.
Well, a backup Vanguard if you don't manage to break ride.
So that's
Plus
the
it's
gambit
got-
of the deck, like break riding and keep
Yeah,
maintaining your pluses
ideally
like
you
that.
do want to break ride with this deck, but otherwise he's not a bad Vanguard. 11k body, pretty good. Got Counterblast 2 Ancient Dragons to gain 5k, which I don't really use that often.
You don't necessarily need
You
to.
don't need to, because his other effect, because you're using Counterblast so much for these. I know they're Counterblast 1, but they do rack up a lot. With this you retire 3, gains 10k and a critical. So you are pushing for good numbers with that, so it hits for 21, and with a booster can potentially hit 28.
Especially that break ride
27.
effect as well.
And if you do manage to break ride on top of that as well, I don't know why you'd use both skills. If you broke ride it, you get 10k and a crit. I would not bother retiring 3 and putting another 10k crit.
Unless you knew they didn't have a null guard.
Unless you're absolutely confident that they do not have a null guard in the deck.
Or they're on like 2 damage and you really want to hit them up.
Well, unless they're on 2 damage and they've got like 2 cards in hand, you want to kill them for game.
Yeah.
You can just be a prat that way.
Yeah.
You get the double crit, they 7 damage.
True
5
one.
damage.
Okay. You can play this one, Dark Rex,
Which you were running until
which
recently,
I was
right?
running until recently. The original was 3 Tyrannal Legend, 4 Spina Driver, and 1 Dark Rex.
So this is viable too.
It's a very viable, but the problem with Dark Rex is you bind him plus 3k, very useful, but you have to have a full field essentially if you
want
to do it properly, which you kind of have to do to apply pressure because it's only 10k. If he rides over this, he'll only be 10k. It's not that much pressure. So ideally, in an ideal world, you'd want this on the field, then in your hand have these 2 along with some other 2 units. But break ride, start the turn, swing for 21, whatever boosters you might have. Well, bind this as well, and then if the attack doesn't hit, superior break ride from the bind zone. But you have to nuke your entire field, because his cost to superior ride from the bind zone, you have to kill 3 units.
On the bright side, you'll have a lot of cards in your hand by the end of the turn.
Yeah, you will have a lot of cards in your hand by the end of the turn. I have seen this happen.
Plus, you can also use Skype Taro and Baby Rex skills.
Yeah, you can, because
You
like,
can't use Iguana Gorg though.
Yeah,
And the
because the problem
reason
is
is
you have
because
to have an Ancient Dragon Vanguard.
Yeah.
So basically, the only 2 you can use for him killing to make it viable is these 2.
Yeah. Because
That's why-
when it checks timing, you don't have an extra
The problem with him is I felt he was too situational. You needed a full field, you needed a pretty good field to make it good, viable. Otherwise you'd be leaving yourself wide open if your opponent survives this.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yep, you can play this guy. I would recommend you try him, because he is for some people, definitely.
Yeah. He's in my deck and I love him to bits.
Yeah. I mean, I do like him. I definitely do like him, but I feel like he's in a league of his own compared to the Ancient Dragons. He does work with them, but I think these guys...
Yeah, it's a build around me.
Yeah. Okay then, that was the Tachikaze deck profile. Hope to see you next time.